Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcast.
We're sisters
and super fans
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom. And I'm an education professional in the independent school world.
Azizi, this is our first Out of the Ordinary episode.
What is that?
It's an episode where we break the mold and do things a little differently. This episode is the first of 2 Get to Know Us Better episodes. We've gotten a lot of questions about what our tendencies are, so we thought this would be a great time to shake things up and reveal a bit more about ourselves in a language that happier fans can appreciate.
This first segment is the Happier Quizzes segment, where Malika and I share our results from the Happier Quizzes. By the way, the links to these quizzes are on the Happier website and will also be in our show notes. So Malika, what's your tendency?
I am an obliger. Yeah, give it up for all the obligers out there.
Yeah, obligers. How's that shown up for you, or what does that mean to you?
It means that in order for me to do anything that I care about, I have to have accountability. I have to either tell somebody else or be in a group or have a coach. Before I had this framework, I felt like I was really struggling, or that was a weakness, that I needed help to get things done. But Gretchen's framework, the 4 tendencies, really helped me accepting that about myself. There was another podcast that helped me a lot called Taking Control, the ADHD podcast.
I remember that one. I was listening to that for a while too.
Yeah, I think I heard about it from you. I am not diagnosed ADHD, but I got tremendous value from this podcast that was for adults with ADHD and offering different frameworks about how to take care of life tasks and handle things that could be challenging. And one of their suggestions on an episode was to have what they called a body double, which is basically somebody else in the room with you when you needed to get something done. So it could be a friend or a parent or just somebody else working on their own thing. And it just sent off fireworks in my brain because that is so me. Like, I love a study session. I love having a work party. Like, it is so helpful for me to have somebody else there doing stuff when I need to get stuff done. And I never had the language for it, but this was something I would seek out among my friends anyway. My friend Amin and I, for years, we would always do our taxes together.
That's funny.
And just bring our piles of paper and sort them out. But it was really powerful and energizing. And so I can see how that is a part of my obligerness also, needing somebody else there to kind of set the pace or help me dig into what I'm supposed to be doing because there's another presence in the room.
That reminds me of an idea that I had the other day. I was thinking about a lot of the things that show up on your list, your favorite things list related to photos, organizing photos or framing photos. And it occurred to me that we could have a photo book making party because it's mostly digital and it's just going through your photos and using an app or a website. And that could be something fun that we do together, even virtually or even over Zoom, where we're just sitting and chatting and making our photo books, going through our photos together. Because I would like to do that also. And I think that could be a fun way to get it done.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I would totally be down for that. Azizi, what is your tendency, Azizi?
I am a questioner. I took the quiz a few years ago and I came back questioner. I was very surprised. I questioned it and I took it again recently. Still a questioner. It's true. I believe it. I'm definitely a questioner and it's accurate. It describes me. I have an intense need to know why and to not rest until I really understand why. This can be exhausting for people around me because I ask a lot of questions. I'm very curious. And the more I know, or when I get to the bottom of something, it feels so good. It's very satisfying. I remember being even a young child, and I remember Daddy would drive me to school and he would say something, some fact, and I would say, "How do you know that?" And he would get so mad. People don't necessarily love to be questioned or to have their information not taken at face value. And my desire was not to say you're wrong or I don't believe you. It's just, I really want to know, how do you know these things? So I'm definitely a questioner through and through.
We haven't done the quiz for our father, but we think he's a questioner too, right?
I'm pretty sure he's a questioner. Yeah.
And questioners really don't like to be questioned.
I was just talking with my husband about this because I don't believe this about me. I don't think that's true for me, but it could be a blind spot. Do I get prickly when people question me?
I don't think you do.
If someone questions me, I've done my research and I could tell you with certainty about, how I'm feeling or why I think it should be a certain way. Or I'll be the first one to tell you, actually, I don't know. And so, thank you for asking me. But I'll tell you what bothers me is when someone says that they can't do the thing or the answer is not satisfactory.
Hmm.
That really does irritate me. So I definitely want people to take seriously my questions. I also want people to question things and not to take things for granted, around me. So those are things I appreciate. I do
Hmm.
get overwhelmed with research though. So that research component, and I know Gretchen has talked about this with her husband, who I believe is a questioner as well. I can get exhausted and overwhelmed by trying to find the exact right thing or trying to get to the bottom of something. At a certain point, you have to just stop because with the internet and books, there's no end to trying to solve a problem.
How does your tendency impact the way you interact with others who might not be in your tendency?
I think that I can come off as very intense or that I can come off as not believing someone. The people who
Hmm.
I spend time with, I sometimes say, I know I ask a lot of questions. It's not because I'm upset or I don't believe you. That's just how I better understand and figure out how to approach the problem or the challenge. So I have learned about when to ask
Hmm.
questions, when to pull back, not to ask every question that comes into my head. And I can't always be right. And that's
Hmm.
okay to not have it be the exact right thing every time.
I think for me, because I am an obliger and I've really embraced the mantra, I'm counting on you to count on me. I was a professional coach. I'm
Right.
an advisor. Part of my job is helping other people
Mm,
do the thing that they want to do. I'm always trying to provide accountability for others. Maybe not personally, but that's something that I try to make sure somebody who has a goal, how can I help keep you
right.
accountable or what are you going to do to be accountable? And not everybody needs that or wants that. That's not everybody's style. And I think my instinct is if somebody is not wanting accountability, then they must not be serious about that thing.
Mm, hmm.
I feel like, really? You really? Are you sure you don't want to? And so I've had to kind of check my, I don't know, accountability bias and trust that that strategy works for me. It works for a lot of people, but it's not for everybody. And certainly many people can accomplish their big goals without having an accountability structure.
Yeah, I'm on this walk slash run sort of program and find myself now every morning before work getting on the treadmill. It took me forever to get to this place, but I had to get there on my own. There was no amount of accountability
Yeah.
or someone checking in on me. Everything made sense and lined up in my head. And so then I was able to do it and to keep doing it. I think that's why the tendencies are so revolutionary is because it makes it okay for people to be different and it normalizes like everyone's not the same.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to recognize is that everyone does not think like you. And I appreciate those reminders over and over again that it's not wrong. It's just different and we are all different. So Malika, what is your neglected sense?
My neglected sense is smell.
Is that something you knew?
I didn't know that, but it
Hmm.
doesn't surprise me. You and I have had this back and forth about scented candles.
Yes. You're not a fan.
Not a fan. I want to be, but I think I'm very sensitive to smells. I get really bad headaches from intense smells. And so I try to reduce the things that smell. Like I'm usually going to get unscented moisturizer or
Hmm.
I have some perfumes. It's funny because I'll put them on and sometimes it makes me sick just having it on. So it's this very delicate thing that hasn't been true for my whole life, but certainly over the last 10 years. So I'm not seeking out smells. in that way.
Well, I have questions. I usually have two or three.
Yes.
Are there any scents that you enjoy, like food scents or fruit? What kind of scents do you enjoy?
There are definitely scents that I enjoy. And actually, I use essential oils.
Oh,
The whole point is that they smell.
right.
Like I'll use a couple drops of lavender in the shower, lavender, eucalyptus,
Mm.
grapefruit. And somehow I guess the potency of that is fine. When it's in a shower, it's a little bit diluted with the steam and it goes away pretty quickly. So I enjoy light smells, but I don't really want anything that's going to be too intense.
And it seems like with essential oils, like you can control the
Right.
intensity by how much you dilute it. And also it's one scent. It's like it's not a blend or multiple. It's you could choose which one scent you want to smell.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. What is your neglected sense?
I will say this quiz was a hard one to take. I appreciated the slider. I thought that was pretty cool. It was, a unique way to measure. I think in general, I'm a pretty sensual person.
Mm.
But touch was the neglected sense, and it made sense. It makes sense to me. It's my neglected sense. Now that I'm in a relationship with my husband, he loves scent. And I'd say that probably was the neglected sense before. My husband wears cologne to bed when no one else was there, like living by himself. And I asked him, why do you do this? Do you do this every night? He's like, because I like the way it smells. That was revolutionary to me. That was like his form of self care. He likes to smell good for no one else but himself. So I have gone on this scent journey also, and it's enjoyable. So that's not neglected anymore. But touch sort of is. I don't have a lot of thoughts or ideas about it. Yeah, it's something for me to think about. What did you get on the gift giving quiz?
As we discussed in episode 10, I am an enthusiast.
As am I. We share that trait. I feel like this pairs well with the questioner. To me, it's about researching, finding the best, newest thing. And I talked about discovery sets and getting to try lots of different things. But clearly, it's also obliger. So there's no correlation there.
I feel like it aligns with obliger too, because I'm happy to get a gift. Thank you. And I love it. Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Our next segment is 12 things inspired by a Hollywood hack in Happier in Hollywood episode 33. We're going to share 12 things about ourselves. Azizi, tell me, tell
Okay.
us 12 facts about you.
It was like 12 interesting things, right? It was supposed to be things that you can use to start a conversation or to make small talk in the context of a job interview or when you're with a new group. So there was a little bit of a bar. We wanted to try to find the 12 things that were a little unique or special. So here are my 12, Malika. Number 1, my name, Azizi, means dear one in Arabic. My parents are Steve and Clara, by the way. They chose this name for me. Shout out to Steve and Clara. Number 2, I met my husband on the internet on OkCupid. Number 3, I'm featured in a Pokemon documentary on YouTube. Look it up. Number 4, I collect cookbooks. Number 5, I spent time camping on beaches in Mexico and on reservations in the Southwest with my school in junior high. Number 6, I'm an avid thrifter, thrift store enthusiast. Number 7, I've been to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. Spent a day there. It was fantastic. He wasn't there, by the way, if you're wondering. Number 8, I spent 2 summers living in New York for graduate school. Number 9, I went to 6 different schools before graduating from high school. That's a whole story. Number 10, I've gone to many live concerts. Stevie Wonder, Elton John, Lady Gaga, Janet Jackson, so many. Number 11, I go to the beach at least once a month. I schedule it in. I always make sure I do that regularly. And number 12, I bake with my grandmother's Kenwood Major 1976 stand mixer. It's still going strong. Built like a Cadillac.
Yay!
Those are my 12. Yay! I did it. It was hard. It's so hard to find 12 things, but I think I have a pretty solid list here.
It's so fun to hear those. I didn't realize that you went to 6 different schools before graduating from high school. I knew that, but I never put that information together. And wow, you went to a lot of schools.
Yeah, a few of them before you were even walking.
And also the fact that you go to the beach once a month is just so cool. I love that for you. I wish I could go with you.
Me too. And actually, it's a reminder that I need to get one in December. I don't think that it's going to happen organic. All right, Malika, your turn.
Number 1, I can juggle with 3 balls. Number 2, I went to Morocco with a group of strangers when I was 16. Number 3, I went to Japanese language Saturday school from age 12 to 14. Number 4, I had an acting job that took me to Guantanamo Bay, and it was nothing like I expected. Number 5, my husband and I met on Tinder. Number 6, I used to write questions for a college test prep company. Number 7, I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity. Number 8, I went to an arts high school. It was like Fame, but in Los Angeles. Number 9, my husband and I picked the surname Amandi when we got married. Number 10, it's been a while, but I can do a headstand. Number 11, I'm currently in a season of wearing acrylic nails, and I love them. And number 12, I once applied for a teaching position in Poland. I didn't get it, but I was prepared to go.
Yay! Feels like you accomplished something when you get to the end of your list.
It really does.
It's such a mood booster. I don't know. There's something to this. And of course, I have questions. The headstand. How do we know this? When's the last time you did a headstand?
So the last time I did one, it was probably in 2015 or 2016. So can I still do one in my current physical state? I don't know. I learned how to do it in graduate school as a part of our acting movement training. So I was doing it on stage. So it wasn't a one-off. It was over several years. I was practicing doing headstands.
You're practically a gymnast.
Practically.
I loved those years when you were in graduate school and you were juggling and being a clown and headstands. Like, it was such a fun time to be around, you guys.
People don't understand how physical an acting MFA program is. I was in the best shape of my life. It was really stretchy, and
you were stretchy, and you also
so much rolling on the floor. And I look at pictures now and it's just like, oh wow, that was me. And I feel like I'm in a totally different body now.
Well, that you are. That's okay.
It's fun to have those memories. And I don't know if I'll get back to my headstanding or not, but it happened. There are a lot of witnesses.
Well, maybe that should be on your 24 for 24 list. You want to put that headstand, get back into that headstand?
Maybe.
That would be fun.
I'll think about it.
I love your list. I use your Guantanamo Bay story. If I had a number 13, it would be my sister once went to Guantanamo Bay. That is definitely something I have talked to lots of people about. It's so interesting. Are you allowed to talk about it? Are you sworn to secrecy?
I worked for a company that was contracted by the Navy. When it's talked about in the media, it's they're talking about the detention center usually. But Guantanamo Bay is actually the naval base with thousands of other people living there, doing their jobs, just like any other naval base in the world. That was news to me. I didn't understand that before going there either. And then there's like one area that's the detention center, which is what draws all the news, and that's all the controversy and everything.
Anyway, such a cool experience in your life, and one that most civilians don't ever get to do or see.
Yeah, I'll put in the show notes a link to the organization that I was working with if you're interested in learning more about the work that we were doing.
Well, those were great lists. It would be fun to revisit them in a year or two to see if we have any new interesting things that we would add, or how we might edit this list, or how it evolves.
Yeah, it strikes me that most of the things on my list are from my 20s and younger.
Wow.
Wearing acrylic nails, that's more recent. The things about my marriage and my husband, that's more recent history.
Well, also that you moved across country.
Right. Well, that wasn't even on my list.
That wasn't even on your list, but that's a big deal. That's something that you would probably talk about when you met someone new.
I guess an exercise could be make a list of interesting things that happened to you this year or that are part of your life now.
It could be a part of your 2023 wrap up.
That's a good idea.
12 interesting things that happened in 2023, or 12 things about you that you discovered, or 23. Could be 23 or 12.
Even though this is an out of the ordinary segment, we have to do peaks and valleys, because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. So today is an odd episode, which means Azizi will do a valley and I will do a peak. So my peak for this week is that my husband and I, we did a one-night getaway to celebrate our 3rd anniversary. I knew it was going to be fun, but I wasn't sure if it would feel satisfying because it was just overnight and we weren't going that far. We were staying in a city about 25 minutes away, but it really did feel like a true getaway. It was so nice to just hang out with my partner and connect and laugh. It was wonderful to get a night of uninterrupted sleep, which neither of us have had in months and months. I think it's a new paradigm. Like, I used to take quarterly getaways. That was on my 22 for 22 list. And I always thought of a getaway as being like 2 nights away at least. And now we're in a new paradigm and it's just 1 night. And that's good enough.
1 night is better than no nights.
Exactly. I'll take it.
Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you prioritized getting time to connect with Norm and celebrate your anniversary together, and that you guys get to just be who you are. Those are the moments where you can remember what was interesting about you and each other. I don't want to call your son an interruption. He's not, but when you don't have the distraction, because it's mostly going to be about your young child when you're together, and that's appropriate. That's how it should be. But that doesn't mean that there can't be some times when you get to just do things for yourself. So I'm glad you got to do that. And absolutely, you could be at a hotel down the street. I'm like Liz. I like a hotel room. I like hotel sheets, a little room service. I'm happy. I don't care where it's at. It doesn't really matter.
It was nice. Azizi, what's your valley?
My valley. I lose track of what I have ordered, or I forget that I have ordered something for someone and I order it again. And, there's this flurry of ordering things and I don't ever have enough time to really think it through. Mostly it's on my phone now. Mostly it's very late at night when when I've done everything else in the day. I'm kind of tired. My family jokes that I do most of my shopping at like 12 a.m. And so I do it, trying to get things in time. Then the packages start coming in and I'll get a package and then a few days later I'll get the same package or a similar thing. How did I order twice? What I realize is I just need a really good system for tracking. When I order something, I need to write it down in my journal that I have ordered it or what it is and from what store, because I forget which store because I'm looking at several stores in my questionnaire way. I'm doing a lot of research and then I forget which one I actually ordered from. It's a whole thing. When I got a duplicate this year of a thing I had already ordered, I was like, oh no, not again. I need to have a better system for tracking, because then you get into having to return things and that's a whole other hassle. I don't want to have to return things. It's a holiday conundrum.
How do you feel about spreadsheets?
How do I feel about spreadsheets? I don't think I would use it.
I think it would really help you.
I don't think it needs to be that complicated. Like I think I just need a template that is on my Good Notes app that has the person's name and what you ordered and from where.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be a spreadsheet. I think I would just like to write it in. Just a list. I mean, although a spreadsheet is interesting because I could see how I could add tabs every year. Because that's the other thing is, what did I get them last year?
Oh, yeah.
I forget sometimes because I will get things last minute or something random will pop up and I'll say, this is a great gift for them, but then I don't remember what it was. So I don't think that's been an issue necessarily. No one said, oh my goodness, you got me this last year, but it still would be interesting to know.
I didn't even think about that, but that is good information.
So, okay, spreadsheet. All right.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you like us, rate, review, tell a friend, and follow us wherever you get this podcast.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week. Please keep sending us questions for our upcoming Q&A episode. We're so excited to share that with you soon.
Our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Croft, and Sarah Fain for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies, and we're on the web at happierladies.com, which is also where you can find the show notes for this episode. All right, Azizi, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye.
No, I'm not sworn to secrecy.
I don't want you to get in trouble with baby. I don't want the government to come looking for you.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.